So to make the espadrille, I am starting by stitching these two pieces together. I'm not overlapping the pieces like that, which you usually see in espadrilles, then with two lines of stitching here. But that requires skiving or thinning down this area that goes under and maybe a little bit on the upper. It's a little more complicated. So I'm going with the straight butt stitch, meaning that these two pieces just butt up against each other. And I want all my knots while making these shoes to be at the bottom edge. So that means I'm going to stitch to the top and then come back down so that I can tie a knot with the two ends that are left here. So I've left a little tail about 2 inches long and then my knot. I'm going to do the bar stitch. So I'm just going up one direction, making these bars, and then I'll go back down, doing the same thing. So I'll have 2 bars in each of these stitch holes. I'm going to pull this nice and tight. I have stitched both of these seams. I want to show you that I've chose to put, there's 2 bars in each of those pair of stitches. If I had put the bars on the inside, then I would have cross stitches on the outside. So you could choose which one that you like the best. Knot the thread and then weave the 2 ends of thread under a few stitches. I'm ready to start stitching to the left of the center marks on both the sole and the upper, and I'm going to pull the thread through, and then after I've evened out the lengths, I'm going to go from that stitch hole in the upper to the next one in both the upper and the sole, and I'll use these pliers to help pull the needle through. And then got marks all over my hands. My little grandson did that. So I took the thread down through this next hole, and I'm going to hold it over from the edge and then take the other needle, the other end of the thread, and go up through that same hole. And again, I'll make sure my ends are equal in length, and then just keep doing that. Go into the next hole in the upper, the next hole in the sole, pull the thread through, and then the other end of the thread goes up through that same hole. Give a real tight tug on both ends and continue around the shoe. I love how this espadrille turned out. If it's at all loose along the top line, you can cut a V out back at the center of the heel and take out a dart, a triangular shaped piece, and then punch holes and stitch it up. And now I'm ready to start chopping this up to make a dance sandal. Here's the dance sandal, at least one version of a dance sandal. You can see it has an open toe. You could have put an open toe on the espadrille also. And we've got a pop of color from the strap. Now I'm going to make the dance sandal with a T-strap. Stitch this closed. I'm starting in the middle, and I'm coming in from the bottom and leaving a tail, then stitching, and then around the, and of course you don't want to pull that out. And then I'm stitching around the end, heading to the other edge, and around that edge, then to finish with this stitch, and then I'll bring this thread between, like the other one is, and tie a knot here, and either melt it or weave the ends under a couple of the stitches and clip the ends off. I've got a little ahead of myself. I put the buckle on the strap and then wove the strap through the slots in the heel piece and also through the T-strap here, but I haven't quite finished stitching the upper to the sole, so that's what I'll continue with. It shouldn't be long, and then I'll have my dance sandal complete. That I would use for making the slits in the heel piece. Fortunately, when I was making this, I had left this tool at the makerspace. So what I did was make a round hole on each end with the rotary punch, and then use a chisel, like this 1/2-inch chisel, to cut across. But it doesn't make quite as neat a slit or slot as having a tool like this would do. I'm back to where I started. I'm going to bring that needle down through that last hole and the other one up through it, and then I'll take these 2 threads up and down another time and cut them off right here at the top of the upper.